Being a bald man from New York, is your dream to be in the next Ninja Turtles?
That was my dream for a long time, but I prefer the old school suit, the rubber one. But the new ones, the CGI wasn't really doing it for me, so I had to back out of that project.
It's like, if I can't do green face, then I don't want to do it.
And green face is where it's at, brother.
I can imagine the Ninja Turtles coming out the sewer with just like shit on them, looking all brown, and the actors just get like, nope, that's...
Yeah, it's not working. Not working. We need a Ninja Turtle that has a receding hairline. That's the one we need. So.
You come from New York, though. Which part?
So I'm originally from Staten Island. Grew up on Staten Island. Moved upstate New York when I was 14 or 15. Went to high school up there. Completely different place, you know. So you have city, and then you have bum shit, middle of nowhere. You know, farms, woods, 2 hours from the nearest mall or Walmart. So
I know people from the South that move to the West Coast and they start to lose their accent. Do you make sure you try to hang on to it?
You know, when I first moved out of New York, I felt like it was part of me. So I did put effort into trying to hold on to it, you know. And I just realized after a while that why, you know what I mean? Why? Like, is that persona that important to you that you need to try to maintain this accent? What's funny is people from New York will say, "Oh, you're from New York? I don't hear an accent." But everywhere else, people are, "Oh, yeah, I know where you're from. You're from New York."
It's because you have it. I think your just voice is deep. Maybe like when you show a little bit more emotion. It's just like for some reason I was mad. Someone pissed me off because they like tried starting some of me. I like had a very slang. I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker finna get it right now." Like I don't know why, but it's just like,
man.
It's just like, you better get your bitch before we get a problem.
Damn, son. Yeah, that is straight New York right there. I think that just comes out when you're irritated or pissed off. That New York spirit. Yeah. Whether you're from Alabama or Texas or Alaska.
Yeah, I feel like not Alabama. I feel like if you're from Alabama, you just get the rifle and just like clan assemble. What made you want to come to the West Coast though?
Oh man, so when I was 18, I joined the Air Force. This Luke Air Force Base was my first base I was stationed at. I was there for 3 years. I liked it a lot. Made a lot of friends. My parents came down to visit me once for Christmas, and then now we're going to fast forward like 15 years from that last statement. My parents were then looking somewhere warm to retire. They didn't like the snow anymore, so they remember coming down to visit me down here, and they really liked it. So I helped them move down. They decided to come down. I helped them move down, helped them get settled, and I ended up just staying here. So,
do you think there's because you know, at the same time, New York is a very dumb, expensive place.
Yeah.
With a bitch in winters, and a lot of people feel like they can't leave. But I was like, if you just if you have a remote job and you just go somewhere else, like you could live in Kentucky and have like a mansion.
Man, that's a brilliant plan. Like I don't know why more people don't do that.
Now, do you think there was like a hesitancy to leave New York because it's like kind of your support system?
You know. So when I moved upstate New York, all my family was still in the city. Most of my family was all down in the city. So it was myself, my mom, my dad, and my brother, and my grandmother. And we were always really tight. You know what I mean? I never really made a lot of friends. I made 1 or 2 friends when I was living upstate. So leaving there wasn't as tough. I miss more so like we kind of lived real secluded. So there was woods and fields and creeks and in New York.
Okay.
And we go fishing and stuff like that. My brother and I go fishing. So I kind of miss that more than anything else. I miss that, and I miss the food too, because upstate has some good food too.
No, I've never been upstate, but do you notice the interaction with people is different? Of course it is, but my brother, when he went, he just noticed like all the girls just look straight down when they walk. They do not look up at anyone.
Yeah.
Like you don't make that side eye contact with no one. Was that weird?
In the city or?
Oh, I guess I've only been to the city portions.
A lot of people like in a metropolis like that, they're not looking to connect with anybody. They just want to get from here to there and not talk to anybody. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people like say, like if I'm going walking through New York, I'm not like, oh hey, good morning, hey how's it going today, you know, and I'm not. People aren't like that there. They're just kind of like ants going about their business and you know don't really want to talk a lot of the time.
Yeah, I was on the subway at 7 a.m. and it's just crazy how everyone was just jammed like sardines in a can, and everyone just looked
Oh, that's normal. That's the day to day over there, you know.
Yeah.
But
I just think it's weird being so directly in front of someone and
just holding on to the bar, just
it's like we're about to kiss. But, do you think that's because you do acting? Did you do anything artsy like that before?
The only thing like artsy I've done growing up, like I learned how to play guitar when I was 12 or 13. So musically, like I was in a couple bands and stuff like that. So artsy would really be the only thing. It wasn't until much later, till I was like in my mid 30s, that I decided to take an acting class. I decided to start taking improv. And
how old are you now?
I'm 39.
Okay.
You can't tell?
No, honestly, it's weird. I think with men with the hair
Yeah.
disorders, you could be honestly 29 with men because you're wearing an Adidas shirt. So you're either Russian or you're a hipster.
Russian or a hipster. I get that a lot with Tracksuit Saturday, the improv team I'm on, because we all wear tracksuits. We're like, are these guys Ukrainian mafia or what's going on here? But yeah. No, so like when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I just had to get a lot of stuff with my life together. You know what I mean? And I wasn't in a space to kind of branch out and be part of a community. So I kind of just fixed some things with myself, and after a while I decided that I needed to get back out there, you know, and decided to take an acting class. And
when you started, when you were 30, 31, did you have expectations for where you should be like right now as you're a 39-year-old?
When I turned 30, 31?
Like when you started to improv and act?
Oh, I didn't start that till I was 35 or 36. Okay. So it's fairly recent in the past few years. But to answer your question, most of my life, so my example of what a family should be and what a life should be growing up was my family. You know, my parents were always together. We got along, you know, everybody was cool. I mean, they had fights, but every family has fights. But that was my example of how it should be. So when I turned 18, when I went out there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet a girl. It's gonna be like a Disney movie. I'm gonna fall in love. I'm gonna have a bunch of kids and have the white picket fence. And nope, you know, that's not how it worked. So for a long time, I held on to that, like this image of this family that I have to have, and these kids that I have to have, and this pressure of I need to get my parents' grandkids before they're too old, and just all this pressure that I was putting on myself for years, and I had to let go of it. You know what I mean? Because it was holding me back, and I had to be content with myself and where my life was, and be happy with where my life is. You know, so a lot of that stuff, the time limit, and hey, I'm 39, I'm not married yet, I don't have kids yet. All of that I really had to let go of, because it was like cement shoes, you know?
In what ways would that hold you back?
So, for instance, when I first started going to improv classes, I was going to be part of a community, but it was always in my mind, okay, is she single? Is she single? What's she like? You know what I mean? That time limit was still in my head, like I need to meet somebody. So that would kind of take me over. This search would kind of take me over.
It kind of sounds like women in their 30s when they're trying to they need to have a kid. I feel like you had that mindset about like, I just need to have my life together, at least this cookie cutter example. Is that what it seems like right now?
Yeah, I mean that's really what it is. That's what it was, is like that was instilled in me, and it was always my mom, and I love my mother. You know, she died, but I love her, and she always used to tell me, you know, when you have grandbabies, this, and one day you're going to tell your children this or that, and one day you're going to do this. So this was always in my head. You know what I mean?
Are you an only child?
No, I have a brother.
Did you have brothers that are a brother that he did the thing, like get married by the late 20s, kids are like...
So the thing with my brother is he doesn't want to. Doesn't want to get married, doesn't want to have kids, he doesn't want any of it. You know what I mean? And he's fine with that. And he's had like a really long-term girlfriend. They've been together for a long time. But then that actually put more pressure on me, because I was like, okay, well, he doesn't want to have any kids, and if I can't, then there goes the family line type of thing. But all this stuff I was thinking was just bullshit. It was bullshit. You know, we're only here once. You know, I'm enjoying my life. I'm happy with what I have. You know, so
what did it take for you to get that kind of get that mindset? Was it kind of maybe, because I think there's like two ways you can get to that point where you accept it, where it's either like there's like a harsh accident that happens, you're like, well, fuck it, like I gotta accept it, or maybe like, I don't know, sometimes I do like headspace and meditation and I kind of reflect in my head and that helps me.
Yeah.
Was there a certain moment that you're like, well, this is how it is, this is me and I gotta accept it?
Yeah, it was actually recently. And it's not, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's all gone and I don't ever struggle with anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know what I mean? But there were so many times where I put my hopes into something, or I put a lot of my energy into something or pursuing someone, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, and it would cause a lot of destruction for me. And while I was on this search, while I was looking for this stuff, I wasn't focused on my passions. You know what I mean? I'd kind of, like, acting would kind of take a little bit of a sideline, and what I'm doing at improv and my creative stuff would kind of take a little bit of a sideline, and I would focus on that.
The relationship?
It could be a relationship, or it could be like, yeah, so opportunities. Or if I meet someone, we date a couple times, but anyway, like going through all that, and then it kind of not going anywhere, and then me feeling like I wasted a bunch of time, and then worrying about it, I just said, I can't do this. I need to focus on myself. I need to be happy with what I have. I need to be content, you know, and focus on the good things in my life. And it's a battle, you know what I mean? It's easy to say that. It's easy to say focus on the good things in your life, but all this other stuff is here, floating around. It's always going to be floating around. You know what I mean? But you have to do your best to ignore it and fight it. Because when I'm in that mindset, when I'm just focused on myself and on my grind, like it's the best thing ever.
Yeah,
it's just freeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very. I think, I don't know, when I kind of feel through shit, like kind of going through life and like stuff happens, I just got to remember, like, what do I like doing? Because I feel like it's easier to lead into being sad than it is to be happy. So it's like, what do I like doing? I like working out, and I like drawing, and I like making jokes and videos. So it's like, let me do some of that shit. When you were curious, because in like stand-up, people like, girls or guys, they'll think stand-up is cool, that you do it for the first few months. And then they're like, and then it's like, yo, it's Saturday at 12 a.m. Where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I really think, and then like some people will stop doing it entirely just so they could be around this partner. But I feel like if you're giving them all your time and not being realistic about what you're doing, you're giving them a false reality of what your relationship will be. As you do acting and maybe talk to certain ladies, do you try to keep it a buck and be like, yo, this is what I'm doing, I gotta go to like auditions on the fly? Or do you kind of like, in a bad way, kind of slow things down for them so that you guys can enjoy each other?
I haven't really dated to that level in a long time where we would have that conversation, you know? It's weird. I don't know. I feel like I'm very, I don't know. I know what's good for me. I know what's not good for me. And if I know something's not going to work, I kind of don't put any energy into it, you know?
What is an example? Is that just kind of like most projects, or just kind of most things in life? I mean, it's the right approach.
It wasn't always, it wasn't always that way. You know what I mean? But now I tend to think about the outcome. I try to anyway. I try to think about the outcome. I try to think about like consequences or the outcome before I do something that's right in front of me. It may feel really good. Something's right in front of you and it's shiny and you want to grab it, but I try to think about the consequences of that or the outcome of that. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't serve me in any way, or it's gonna come back and bite me, then I walk the other way. The relationships or opportunities or things like that, you know.
How many opportunities have you had, like acting wise, where it's just like, this looks like great, but then you're just like, I just jumped into a pile of dog shit? Or has that happened?
Yeah. So there was a project that I auditioned for and I got a call back for, and it seemed legit. You know, it was about this guy that was and I think they were casting. It was like a disgusting, mysterious male character, whatever that means. You know, so I get the sides and I'm reading the sides, and there's a lot of stuff in there about throwing women around and whipping them with a belt and all this stuff. And even though like they were going for like a psychological thriller type thing. Like I didn't want to portray that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be part of that. So I backed out of it.
No, definitely. It seems like a weird thing, especially so early in the game. Like, what have you worked on? Well, I beat the fuck out of a woman.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to be that guy that's known for that character or get typecast into that role. Like, nobody wants that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when you're first getting started, you don't want to turn anything down. You know what I mean? So the local stuff that I'm doing, like, that seems to be the roles that I'm getting. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to branch my way out of that. Play a character with, redeemable qualities, like a...
I heard that's what they did with Michael Scott in season 2, because they said since Steve Carell was such a huge star, and they're like, there's nothing likable about this person. He's a very hateable guy. So at the end of season, like for every episode in season 2, they make Michael very redeemable, and it's like they'll make him cringe as fuck the whole show. In the last few seconds, they'll be like, I like this guy. Yeah, for sure. What is the how is it work improving in acting? Because it's such an abstract thing, So how do you improve?
As an actor, how do I improve?
Yeah, like what's a conscious thing? You're like, well, I couldn't cry on cue then, and now I can cry on cue now. Like, how does it, like, what's like a practice rep for you?
So you're saying like something I can, like as a scale, like here I was here?
Yeah, because like gym is a good example. It's just like I benched 135 then, and now I can bench 225.
With me, it's when I first got started, it was a lot with the confidence was very low. And the confidence in my abilities was very low, and my ability to make choices. So if I'm doing a scene and I want to make a certain choice, or I wanted to make a certain choice, or say something off the cuff, off script, I wouldn't do it because I was nervous. I was like, well, I better stick to the lines. I better not go off the blocking. Whereas now I feel more free to just be open. If I feel like I want to say something, I'll say it, and that's actually something improv helped me out with a lot. Is just trusting yourself and having the confidence to say yes to your ideas. You know what I mean? So it's just the confidence level, and I do a lot of training too. I'm in class every single week. I work hard in there, you know what I mean? So I get feedback from other students, so that, it's validating in that way. So, and also getting more, like auditioning and getting heard back, I hear back more often now, so that's validating too. So that kind of tells me like, all right, I'm getting somewhere. More people are calling me back. So
do you think like because I don't know how it is as an actor, but they say, I could just relate it to stand-up. They say you got to go to LA or you got to go to New York. Do you think, because I feel like we're at a time and space where everything is so like accessible. Like, there's more famous people and there's more richer people than ever just because of the internet. Do you think you can make it here in Arizona, or do you think like you're going to have to make a jump sometime to the West Coast or East Coast?
When I'm ready for that, when I feel like I'm ready to take that step, I'll probably try to get an agent in LA or New York or Atlanta, because Arizona agents can only represent you in Arizona. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't think about that too much. It's on every, that's on every actor's mind, and I'm sure every stand-up comedian's mind. Like, oh, what if this happens? Like, what if?
Because I think, what I mean? As far as me, like, it's just nice because I'm just getting reps and I'm just improving my writing. I'm trying to get better at crowd work. I'm trying to get better at riffing. But I think with acting, you're really just one part away. Maybe it's a part that maybe goes viral.
And that could happen. That could happen, and it could not happen. But like you said, with reps, that's really what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? And something that's funny is when people find out that I act, the first thing they ask me was, how much did you make on that? How much did they pay you on that project? Okay. But I'll tell you, Jeff, I'm going to tell you right now in front of the whole world, I'll tell you, ever since I started acting, to date, the most I have made, $1,200.
On one spot?
No, total.
Oh.
I'm serious, total.
I just like that you specified, no, not one gig, just
$1,200 total. But most of the projects I do are not paid. They're not paid, but I just love doing it. You know what I mean? I love doing it. I love the reps. So I'm fine with it. I have fun.
I think you have to do it for free, honestly, because It's just like I'm not saying you don't, but most of the time we don't have a skill set yet. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, no, and then like you learn so much about yourself doing these short films, and that's mostly what I've done. I've done a bunch of short films, and it's good to learn to be on a set to see how production works. I've done like voiceover stuff, a couple of commercials here and there, so it's good to get in there, get your feet wet, wade around a little bit, play different roles, learn your character preparation. So I'm totally content with what I'm doing. You know, it's a lot of fun. I love connecting with other with my scene partners in the scene, and just the process. So yeah, I love it. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the same thing like with photography. And you know, before, you know, I don't solely like if I'm at a show, I'll do photos and stuff and kind of just throw it there. But like. You just took a lot of photos for free, honestly, and then and then people started seeing like, oh my gosh, Nick's taking all these damn photos. It's just like, can I get a photo shoot with you? And I assume maybe it's like when they see you in all these roles, and maybe they see you, it's like, yo, can you come and do a show?
So that's actually happened where I've gotten 2 roles because I put a lot of stuff on my Instagram. Like I'll put clips from projects I've done or a monologue on there. And then out of nowhere, somebody will contact me. Hey, man, I watched your monologue for this. Do you want to come and audition for this part? You know what I mean?
Do you say, because I always throw it in there because it's just like, I got to let people know what I do. And I'm not like, kind of like, I do stand up. They're like, what do you got planned today? I'm just going to go just do some open mics and some photography. So they know I do these 2 things. So if they need photography, they'll hire me possibly. Or if maybe there's a slight chance they have a private show, they know I'm the guy if they want to come to a show. Do you say like, I got to go, I'm going to have some auditions today?
I can be a little guarded. In that way, like telling people that I'm an actor and I do improv and I'm into theater and I do photography. I feel like if I'm outside of my community, and my community being actors, improvisers, comedians, and entertainers, and the artistic community, if I'm outside of that, I feel a little guarded. I'm a little more guarded with saying those things, and that.
Any reason in particular?
Yeah, I mean, that's more of a
New York thing?
At work.
Oh, okay.
Like at work, like I don't want to tell people what I do and what I'm pursuing, because if I tell them, hey, I'm auditioning for this, or I'm an actor, I'm pursuing that, I don't know. I just don't want them to know, because a lot of people will think negatively about that. Like, oh, he wants to be the next Robert De Niro. He wants to be rich and famous, and oh, he's chasing a dream. If you're outside of your tribe, your group of people, like there's going to be a lot of that type of thinking, and that energy is something that I really don't like.
Do you think that's
coming at me?
Do you think that's when like confidence comes more into play?
Yes.
Like,
yeah, and you're absolutely right about that, because I realize that it's me and my level of confidence, and who cares what they think? You know what I mean? Who cares what they think? Who cares if they think I'm going to fail? Who cares? Whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, yeah, it has a lot to do with confidence and caring too much about what other people think, which is something I struggled with growing up. I struggled with in my 20s. I still, from time to time, wrestle with it. You know what I mean? Just being real. And starting improv, when I first started doing improv and doing acting, that really helped with that, because when I started doing improv and I would go out on the stage and I would do something and nobody would laugh, I would beat myself up for 2 weeks. Like, I'm never doing that again, But now if I go out every weekend, I go do improv jam every weekend, I'll get up on stage and they laugh, they don't.
Yeah, I think it's like a double-edged sword, because I got to be like you got to keep it a buck. Like, I care when they're laughing, so like I'm gonna care when they're not laughing also. But I don't know. I'd say things that help me is like, I am gonna see you guys again. So like,
yeah.
How's it kind of dealing? How did you improve with like that consciousness? Because acting is very much opinion based, as far as if you're good or you're not, or if they like this movie or they don't. So how do you improve in that not caring?
The right people will like you and like your style, and the people that matter, I guess, if you're pursuing something, the people that matter are the ones whose opinion matters, if that makes sense. Like, the right people are going to like you, the right people are going to support you, the right people are going to be there, you know what I mean? And the wrong people are not, you know. I'm very big on kind of destiny and things happen for a reason, and the right things will come into your life and the wrong things, should you make that choice, will leave, you know. So I kind of roll with the punches, and I just follow this path because this path is where all my passion is. You know what I mean? I really feel like this is something I was born to do, and that's I guess that's my mindset on it.
How is it picking up new skill sets like photography? I'm not sure if you want to get more into editing and video with that also. Is that more just because out of interest, or you just want to be able to do things to have more control?
So for a while I'd walk around, and I haven't really taken a lot of pictures of people. It's mostly of nature or scenery, or like I'll see something, like I'll see a stoplight and a street, and if it's a certain way, I'd take a picture with my phone, you know, and then I'd mess with the filters and make it black and white or something. But it's just like like if I see beauty, if I see something beauty, or if I beautiful, or if I see something like a pattern that's really neat, I want to like capture it, you know what I mean? And then I want to kind of show other people what I found to be impressive about this or beautiful about this, you know. Seeing the world and you do photography, so it's almost like seeing the world how we see it. I want to show you how I see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To a point, it's really accentuating what I enjoy most about the world. As we mess with colors and filters, and you know, it's just like you can take a look at my page and you just know, like, I really like colors. Like, call me Dr. Seuss. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's even when I kind of take pictures here, I love that I can turn. I don't know, when people wear colors on their shirts, and I can pull that out. I can make this bright, I can make this low dim green. Like,
I should have wore tie-dye then.
Yeah, you should have. You fucked up.
I know, man.
Nah, what do you, to kind of wrap it up, I mean, like, two questions. What are you, like, excited about in the acting field, or like your endeavors in the creative space?
Well, I'm excited with where it's going. I mean, I've put a lot of work into this. I worked my ass off at this, so it's good to see some rewards from that. You know what I mean? As far as more roles coming in, and more people kind of knowing who I am around this community in Phoenix. So I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm excited to see, you know, what's coming in the future.
Has it been more of a steady growth, or has it been really a steep incline with the amount of opportunities you're getting?
So there's been times where it was just a gentle slope, then it would go down into a pit, and then it would be a steep incline, then it would plateau, and then it would like roll off the side of a mountain and then come back up. So it's been all over the place. But right now, like the energy is really good. Like right now I feel like step it up, time to step up, you know, meet this energy, step up and go after it is what I'm feeling right now.
Let's say you see this in 10 years. What would you expect out of yourself, or where would you like to be in 10 years?
That's a tough question. You know what I mean?
It's the closing
honestly,
statement.
man. Honestly, Jeff, what I want to do is I want to make a living doing what I love to do, acting, being creative. You know, I want to make a living doing that. Even if it's the same amount of money that I make now, and I can survive off it, I would be content with that. You know what I mean? I just want to live that life. You know what I mean? Not have that 9 to 5 every day, and a boss you have to answer to, and just being stuck in a job that you have no passion for, being stuck somewhere where it's not your tribe of people. You know what I mean? And I think that would just be a really beautiful thing for me to be able to step into that and be with my tribe and work in that field and just live day to day like that. You know what I mean? In any capacity, I think I would be satisfied with that in 10 years.
Fade to black.